What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We're back at it again with another episode of the Why I'm Geek show with your homie G and Chrissy Light. And today's episode, we're gonna be talking about the Book of Clarence, episode 124. I'm excited about this. This is the first movie that I saw this year and like in theaters. And I knew I had a feeling it was gonna be a good one just because of prior things that I saw, like what is that movie called on Netflix? The Harder They Fall. That joint was goated. I really liked it, and it's the same director. Some of the same actors are in this joint, so super excited to get into this. Chris, how you feeling today, Brody?
Man, Mondays, man. This one beat me down. Woke up early. We had them big AFC, NFC championship games.
Yeah.
I was a little lit. It was tough to make it through the day, so I can't wait to take a nap. But we had to talk about this movie first, so I'm doing good. G, how about you?
I'm chilling. You know, my team wasn't in no playoffs. Probably will never make the playoffs for foreseeable future. I don't know, but I watched the first game. I didn't watch the second game because the first game it took me out, bro. I was so mad because I really thought Lamar was gonna do it, bro. But Goat Mahomes said, "Nah, bro." Like,
I know.
and they
Maybe
even
back to back.
they didn't even do anything in the second half. This is not a football podcast. It's not a football podcast, bro. But look, man, the Book of Clarence. What can I say to start off? Lakeith Stanfield. You know what I'm saying? That's like the first draw. Like, anytime Lakeith is on the screen, anything he's in, any TV show, I'm watching it. He's one of my favorite actors. And it's really like because of the setup for me, like, and how they kind of marketed this movie, because it's like the subject matter is so polarizing, but also like you see the people that's in it, you could tell there's going to be a comedy and stuff like that. So I was just like, I gotta see this, you know. But like when you saw like any trailers or anything, was it like enticing to you in that way, or you just was like, it's something to see, start the year off?
Yeah, I more of that. It was like,
Okay.
oh, it's gonna be something to see. I kind
Mhm.
of from the trailers, it was hard to see. Was it like full on comedy?
Yeah.
Like what exactly it wasn't? What would I be getting at if I watched it?
Mhm.
Um, but it was a early January movie, and you know how I feel about those January movies. Sometimes you gotta avoid them. So I was gonna wait and see approach. That's what I went with.
Yeah, it's a toss up early in the game, but I think this was a good one. So Clarence, man, Clarence is the quote
Clarence.
unquote 13th apostle, right?
Yeah.
So if you grew up like me, going to church as a kid, you done heard a lot of these stories and stuff like that, and know a lot of these characters. So like when I factor in that, and then just like the story, I feel like it was like a recipe for success. Like, I don't know how, like, I know how you can mess this up, but as far as like the approach, as far as like the way they made jokes, lended more to like the times they was in, but also like the gravity of like, all right, what are you making a joke about? Like, it wasn't like it wasn't on some Lil Nas X vibes, you know, where they was trying to make fun of Christians and stuff like that, or just like religions. But it was more so like we're laughing together type thing, to me at least. But what was like the first thing that like stood out to you when you watched this joint, bro?
A lot, bro. There was a lot of stuff that stood out. Definitely the soundtrack immediately
Yeah.
stands out. Um, just from the beginning and to the end, like it just automatically jumps out of the movie.
Hmm.
Um, and I can't help but that first act, it just feels so much. I don't even know how to describe it. Kind of
Yeah.
like a parody
Hmm.
of the times. I don't know what to compare it to, but like a parody of those events. And
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I've seen something like that, or like these tiny little skits of those times. But it was
Mhm.
really cool to see a movie like that.
Yeah. It really gave me GTA vibes, bro.
What?
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just thought about it, and I was like, yo, Clarence is what's his name from GTA? What is his name? Oh man, I cannot think of it. CJ
Franklin?
Franklin? I don't know. The old one. The old one. Where it starts off with the chase, and he's doing all this to impress a girl, and he owes money to this like this gang leader or whatever you want to call it, enforcer. I don't know. The head honcho
Mm.
of the community, and he just getting done dirty. So it's like,
The opening scene you're talking about.
yes, just the opening scene
Yeah,
of
okay.
like
Okay.
it
I was
started
like,
off.
whoa.
It reminded me of like how a GTA game starts, where it's like, yo, you literally starting from the bottom, and you got to work your way up. In a sense, I don't know why, but that's just what I got. I don't know, but um, it's there's a lot of ways to go when you're thinking about this movie, and I kind of just want to talk about the things we know first, right?
I know nothing. I know
No,
nothing,
no,
bro.
I'm speaking more to like I'm speaking to more to the characters, right? So
Uh-huh.
like Clarence, Clarence is a more skeptical in nature and somebody that is like
Yeah.
essentially somebody that
Non-believer.
wants to be somebody,
Atheist.
right? And he's just like knowledge is the most important thing and it's like more powerful than belief and things like that. And when I started watching this movie, because of the way that it started with um just seeing him hanging on a cross and them showing us his end was like, oh, all my expectations just went out the water. Like I was not expecting to see that like immediately. Um because it's just like when you do something like that, it's called what is it? I got it down here. A Syuet. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, what?
Syuzhet. And it's basically when they show you the end of something in the beginning. Right? They show you how this character is going to die, or they show you the end of the movie first, and then the rest of the movie is just you like watching how that thing happened. You know?
Mm.
Just like foreshadowing, but not foreshadowing. It's like a stronger version, I guess. So when that happened, I was just like, bro, I thought this was supposed to be funny. Like, I thought I was going in here and geek, but that was just sitting in the back of my mind for the longest time. And I was like, bro, this is kind of fire. Like, I don't know why, but when movies do that, like John Wick, bro, when John Wick start and you see him all bodied, and it's like, dang, how did he get here? And you get to see that progress. It's just a recipe for greatness, bro. And I feel like they knew that going into it because this is not a real story, but it's like involves stories that people know. So they're playing in this middle ground and they're doing it well. So
Yeah, it's like
that's
a weird. I don't want to say retelling, but it's like
yeah.
another interpretation of the same events that of one of the pretty much the greatest story everyone
Mhm.
knows.
Yeah.
Jesus getting crucified and getting resurrected, like that
Mhm.
exact time period. Like I said, I don't want to say retelling because
Yeah.
essentially in this movie we get like a different point of view, and technically in the Bible, when they have the different books, just like
Mhm.
for example, this is called the Book of Clarence.
Mhm.
Technically, this could be through
Clarence.
the eyes of Clarence. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not all. It's essentially from his lens, and
Mhm.
basically what we're getting is that this is potentially a twin of one of the actual disciples,
Yeah.
but that's
Thomas.
like an unconfirmed like thing. So they're
Yeah.
operating in a space that's allowing them to be creative.
Mhm. Exactly. Chris said it way better than what I just tried to, but that's that perfectly sums it up. So with that in mind, um, what did you think of just like I guess the setup of like, all right, y'all, I got an idea. I know how we gonna get out of this sticky situation. Cause he lost the race, y'all. So he lost the race. Now he down bad. Now he know he about to die, right? Not by the hands of the Romans, but by somebody in his own hood, right?
Yeah, what was that guy's name? The big
I,
bad
terrible,
God.
terrible. His name was terrible. The something the terrible. It was
Yeah,
something the
something terrible.
terrible.
Damn.
I don't know why Boris is in my mind, but I know that's not right. Um, but it was something the terrible, and he was looking at Jesus walk through the walk. He did. Jesus did a walkthrough, bro, of the hood, and
Mhm.
everybody was like, "Let me touch you." All this stuff. They was like, "I want to be like that," you know, and that's when he came out of his mind. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna be the new Messiah. After smoking off something, I don't know, I don't know what they was
Weed.
smoking, but they was floating though,
Yeah.
and I was like, there's no way that this really works, you know. But obviously, we got proven wrong. I mean, like we saw in the trailer, like what they were going to do, but it was like it seemed so like fugazi. Like I was like, bro, there's no way that people were just going to go like that. But I don't know. What do you think? What did you think about the setup?
Yeah, the setup sort of made sense to me. I mean, in the Bible, they do talk about how there were multiple people always proclaiming to be like the Messiah or a
Mm-hmm.
prophet,
Yeah.
and a lot of people did get killed and murdered for stuff like that. And to see like Clarence take that up, I think the only weird thing that I had with it was like Jesus technically was already around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like even his like brother was around him. So it's like
Yeah.
like this crazy event that he doesn't believe in is already happening, and like the movement is starting,
Yeah.
and he's technically close to it, and
Mm-hmm.
he himself is like, well, I'm gonna try to piggyback off it, you know,
Yeah. Six
but he
degrees of
would know the
separation type thing.
consequences. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was really weird to me because like, oh, I could see how people would try to do this back then,
Yeah.
and I'm watching it with my own eyes. But I always would think like, "Yo, y'all gonna die for this. Like, why why are you
Mm-hmm.
like there ain't no
Hey,
running."
at the end of the day, like
So it's
he
like I
got to do
get it,
something. He
but it's
got to do
just like,
something. You know, like
yeah, it's just the fact that he was so well, not him, but like the fact that
mm-hmm.
he's so close to that movement already,
Yeah.
especially like being a bystander, for him to just be like, "Yo, I'm gonna just fake being a messiah." I was like, "Yo,
Well,
that's crazy."
he did. He did try other
Yeah,
things before he came to this decision. Like he went and got baptized. He went and
great scene,
tried
great scene.
to yeah. He went and tried to actually join them like in a upfront way,
Yeah,
and
they
they
made
laughed
him
him
do
out the
the
room.
trial.
Yeah, but they laughed him out the room. So really, it was like once he got, you know, one person to like really follow him, like he got through that first test, essentially that Judas gave him. he was like, maybe I can, like, he started believing his own hype, like maybe I can do this, you know.
Yeah.
And he was, but at the same time, he still had his own, like, he had his own philosophy that he was still doing, but he just added the miracle sauce on top of it to
Mm.
then get the bread, you know. But I don't know, bro. When I was watching it, I was like, "Yo, get that money."
Yeah, it's just the fact, like I get it, like
Yeah.
because I'm viewing him as like a non-believer.
Right.
The fact that his second option was okay, well, I'll just join the apostles,
Yeah.
and then it's like, all right, never mind, I'll just be a messiah. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
what? Like,
The train of thought is crazy.
yeah, but when he became the messiah, it was kind of like they do this thing in the movie where they get this idea,
Hmm.
and I kind of viewed it because it gets a little confusing as the movie goes on. It's kind of like a
Like the
I don't
reoccurring
know, like
reoccurring light bulb. You
yeah,
talking
it's
about?
like
Yeah.
a passion, or he finds like his purpose in life whenever
Hmm.
that bulb goes off, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be a messiah," and like that like kicks off the whole rest of the
Yeah.
movie pretty much.
Hmm.
Um, like him becoming a messiah is such a jump for me because
Hmm.
he's already so against it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, dang. But that's what makes the first act, because in the second act they go right into how the heck are we gonna do this? Like
Yeah.
how would we fool people? How did Jesus even get all of his tricks? And
Hmm.
then maybe in the first act they go and talk to his parents or whatever.
I don't like the act structure. I'll just say that
Mm.
because for me it was like, dang, this joint is gonna be long, you know. Like
This movie is long. I think it's a
when
little too long for me.
yeah, when I like, I feel like it could have been like three more so than four. Um, just a bit based on the way that it was paced, but really like, I guess it just serves more as like a time thing because if you didn't have that part, maybe it'll be like seem like it was happening too fast. Like it's like essentially like his rise, you know, because you get
Mm.
to see him like he literally starts the movie off in a homeless person's cloak
Yeah.
to now he had that chatter white on and he was like, you know, balling, like balling.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely think the first part of the movie does better. It's more lighthearted, more
yeah,
funny, more skit like.
hmm,
And then they definitely change the tone as it goes on, like drastically.
yeah, because I liked when they was while he was doing his like montage of like you could see him starting to get better and rehearsing and like you getting to see them everybody perform all the different fake miracles and stuff like that. Um, but he has a moment where you could see in his eyes where he's like, man, I don't know if I should do this. You
Mm.
know, like you can see him reflecting
I know
on
that's the
like,
only weird thing. Like
yeah,
this dude got some balls to really be messing with this
yeah,
when but he just doesn't believe it. He thinks like Jesus is a fake Messiah too. You know what I mean? Like
hmm,
we all goofing it out
yeah,
here, and I'm just getting money. So
right. But it was all for love. So it's like
man,
that's not. It wasn't like for me for that to be the crux or like the sticking point to like his reason why he's doing all this from the reason why he got in the race in the first place. It was like that it wasn't enough. Once they finally linked and like got together, I'm talking about the love interest. Um, I don't know if I don't know if that was like a strong enough want for me or motivation to like counteract those feelings of like, man, why am I doing this? Like, cause it was like while he was like in front of everybody, he was like in the zone. But then
mm.
like you could see him like drifting off while everybody's enjoying like the fruits of their labor. Um, you could see him like, man, like we did it, but like they didn't pay dude off yet. And it's like, how long are you gonna do this? You know? So it gets tricky. It gets tricky in those next few parts or whatever. But I don't know. I don't really feel like I don't feel like Clarence's nature really changed throughout the movie. I just think like because essentially like one of the greater messages in the like or underlying messages in the whole movie was that like basically God can use anybody, right? So it wasn't until
Hmm.
like it happened to him that he believed or he knew, and that was like a bar for him. Like um when like he had his own miracle happen, and it was like there's no explaining what just happened. It wasn't until then where it's like things like it finally clicked. That was like, oh, this is real. It was like, oh man, But when his homie saw it, when Elijah saw, Jesus stopped him from getting stoned, him and
Yep.
Mary Magdalene, I was like, bro, this is your man's. So if your man's can't convince you, like essentially like nobody can, because it was such a like thing where it's like you can't fake rocks floating, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just think like this movie had a lot of full circle moments that like if I was to watch it again, I probably would have caught some more. I feel like even though like this is still like a fictional movie, so
Yeah, this is where it gets rough for me because I think the problem with me when I'm watching it is it's
Mhm.
involving what what is the movie trying to tell me with the main character,
Yeah.
and whenever it runs into this whole like Jesus or religious aspect, it confuses me.
Mm.
Like you said, that we're fast forwarding technically, but
Yeah.
uh the, the non-believer pretty much does not believe until he finally gets a miracle himself. Like
Hmm.
there's stuff happening the whole time. Like
Yeah.
the whole time.
Hmm.
Even his best friend Elijah
Elijah. Yeah.
even tells him like, "Yo, I'm telling you, I saw it. I saw it." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's fake." Like just straight up, that's fake money.
Yeah.
They lying to you.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because like you said, Clarence doesn't really change
Hmm.
all the way up to that moment. And then up to that moment is kind of what when he really does start to realize like, God is in every one of us, we're all gonna be okay type thing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it, and I kind of wish that would have happened more, but I guess they if I watched it
It
again,
only
maybe
takes
there is.
one.
Yeah, but it's like I'm like maybe there's like more subtlety to it. Like maybe he slowly
Yeah.
started to transform when you're talking about like he starts realizing like, dang, maybe this isn't a good idea about deceiving all these people. But
Hmm.
it's just really weird because he's pretty much lying the whole time. He's pretty much
Yeah.
lying. He's uh not like it's just weird. He's not believing the whole time. Doesn't believe a
Yeah.
single word until he walks on water. Then it's like, bro,
Yeah.
do you believe this? Like, and
Right.
I'm like, do I like this or do I not? Like, I don't know if there's enough leeway for me to say like that was a good segue to his belief system. Do you know what I mean?
I think I think it was perfect just because of the nature in where they went about it. Because he had his whole trial and like he said his piece, but he wouldn't give Jesus up. Like they gave him time to like ponder if he was gonna betray him or whatever. Even though he had no idea like where Jesus was at all when the Romans was captured him or whatever. Um, that bugged me too. He shouldn't have got captured. Like, but I'm gonna stick to what I was about to say. But like in that moment, it had to be something that was like so like because okay, It had to be something that was so plain as day, that even Clarence, the most cynical person on the planet at this point, that's like as what we're seeing, um, would believe it and know it, because it's not so much he still isn't in the isn't in the boat of like, yeah, I believe in God, I believe in a higher power, I believe in Jesus. It's like, no, I know now. So he's still working in his same framework, but because he had that one experience, it changed everything. So
Yeah.
now it's never like, so that's why I think it's a good thing, because it's like we get to see him change, but that change isn't like, it isn't like a happy one. It isn't like, I can see, like, it isn't, I'm clean, I got money coming out of my hands like Doctor Strange. Like, it's literally, oh, I have understanding, I have the knowledge to know, like, boom. And then he gets super, like once he know, he gets super thorough after that, and just like, bro, like, I'm good now. Like, I know what's finna happen, and I'll just have to hold. I'm gonna just have to hold it. Like, it is what it is. Like, this is what I get. You know.
Yeah, I think that's why it's kind of weird for me because it's the whole movie becomes it's almost as if we watch this whole crazy movie where, hey, I'm just gonna become the Messiah and fool everybody.
Mhm.
Oh, I bumped into Jesus and he performed a miracle on me. Wow, y'all, I believe Jesus. Like
That's not what
that.
happened though.
Yeah, but that is
He
basically
had
what we
his
saw from
own.
Clarence.
Yeah, but he had his own experience, not through Jesus. It was just straight God. Like
Yeah, but if he would have saw the same thing that happened to uh what
Elijah.
was her name?
Oh, Mary
Um yeah, Mary Magdalene,
Magdalene.
right?
Yeah,
When they stoned her and then Jesus came and rescued her, you'd think Clarence would have believed it then, right? Or just said that was all tricks.
I think he would still say it was tricks. He'd have been like,
Yeah.
"It's wires."
Yeah.
He'd have been like, "It
So
was wires."
I guess that's what I kind of wish I got more in the movie because it just
Yeah.
kind of like what you feel like. It's like, of course, if you're presented with a miracle,
Hmm.
that logical person is just gonna be like, wow, there was just no way possible. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
just that he, spoiler alert, walked on the water.
Hmm.
Like the Roman guards were literally
Falling in.
jumping into the water and
Yeah.
falling through it.
That's
So
what I was trying to say. Yeah.
it's just like a automatic like confirmation that
Hmm.
there is something more spiritual, supernatural happening right now.
Hmm.
And the whole movie leading up to that point, like you said, I guess it had to be I'm not gonna sell out Jesus,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like I just don't think that was a strong enough point in Clarence's reasoning to like you're gonna get a miracle of miracles. You're gonna be able to walk on water. That's all.
Say that last part again. What do you mean?
Like we're watching the whole movie, him just being like, "Hey, I'm not gonna sell out Jesus, and I'm not gonna be your fake
Hmm.
Messiah for like a figurehead
Uh-huh.
until you can capture the real Jesus or whatever." Like to then get the miracle of miracle that then converts him. I was
Hmm.
like, I kind of wish there was more like he interacted with someone that said Jesus and he said no, that was fake. Just a little like more back and forth of him really being like cynical to the fact
Yeah.
that this is all fake. Like I'm doing the same stuff. It just became like, hey, there's this dude Jesus really performing miracles. We don't know how he's
Hmm.
doing it, and it's like, okay, we're gonna copy his shtick,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh wait, it's a real miracle. All right, I believe him. You know, like that. That's like the movie.
But it's so. But the way I see it, this is the last time I'm gonna try. The way I see it is like you have two extremes. You have the extreme on one side that is Clarence and like everything is fake,
Yeah,
non-believer, like knowledge over belief type
yeah,
thing. And then you have another extreme, which is the miracle, but that extreme is the miracle happened directly to him, because some people
Yeah.
are I've heard some people like explain their relationship with God and stuff like that in that way where it's like, yeah, like I never really got it until it happened directly to me.
Mhm.
And that's how it is for some people. So like I feel like using Clarence as the voice and writer of this book and taking away his ending so early, to me it made that moment so much more stronger because it didn't need anything extra as far as like he had this conversation, he saw this happen and these things compound, and then he was like, man, maybe I shouldn't do this no more type thing. Like, nah, like it was as extreme as his non-belief to what happened, what he experienced. So that's why he knows now. And what
Yeah.
made
That's
like
good.
how it ended with Jesus coming into his tomb, breaking through his tomb, and then resurrecting him, and then cutting right there was like, oh yeah, they did that. They did that because it's
You
just
see, well,
like,
that's a whole nother can of worms. It's confusing.
okay,
Do,
let's.
do, do you see? Do you see? Because it's kind of like we go from one half of the movie where it's like no relationship with God, pretty much.
Mhm.
And what you're saying is the justification is it only takes like one miracle to then change his direction.
Yeah.
So pretty much the whole movie that we saw had no correlation on him receiving that miracle. Do you think or no?
No, because it was never about Clarence. Clarence, like to me, this is where my head
Okay.
canon comes in. To me, when Clarence was able to walk on water, God didn't do that for Clarence's benefit. He did that to show like, nah, I'm really him type beat. Like, and I know
What?
it's hard for me to explain, but it's like it was for his own glory. Like, and that's where we get into the weeds of like it's the movie's going to hit people in different ways, and that's the thing that I got out of it was like you can do all the fact checking you want as far as like what lines up in this movie with what really happened or what. I'm not the person to do for that, but um I think what this movie does do is pique curiosity as far as like, dang, I know this was a movie, but I wonder what really happened. And it's crazy that this movie came out now, just because I'm reading through John right now, and John is basically we talked about it before, like going through Jesus's ministry like for those like 3 years, and the way Jesus moved was like he was moving like crazy. Like youngest was like it'll be like certain points where it was like, yo, they tried to get him, but it wasn't his time yet, so they couldn't get him. And it'd be like simple things like that where it's like
Yeah.
it just can't happen. And I'm like, that's
Yeah,
tough.
so the only like gripe I have with it, because I do
Yeah,
think part of the movie is they're trying to show how like Clarence is just a vessel for a normal person. Like you can replace
yeah.
Clarence with a
Anybody.
normal person
Yeah.
experiencing it, and it's like he's going through this journey
Hmm.
that ultimately leads him closer to God. And I
Yeah.
mean, you can draw the conclusion ultimately as close as possible to God,
Hmm.
But like the only thing is kind of like when it comes to those miracles when it happens to him,
Yeah.
and then the correlation of them using Clarence as like who is the Messiah in it. You know what I mean? It does it for me as a movie, it gets
Hmm.
confusing because Clarence then walks on water in the movie.
Yeah.
Clarence went around saying he's the Messiah.
Hmm.
Clarence then gets crucified uh uh on the hill
Hmm.
with the white other Messiah, Jesus, not Jesus, fake Jesus.
Yeah. White Jesus.
And then he then gets buried in the tomb. So like
Yeah.
my only like
Wait. What else happened?
he gets resurrected.
He gets saved through who?
Through Jesus. But you see how
That's the
this
only way
is
it can
the
happen. That's the only way it can happen. That's the point of that moment right there. That
yeah. But
like
do you see that like this
no,
is
but look,
why I'm saying it's literally a non-believer story where he
yeah.
gets miracles performed on him so that he can believe it. Like that's not my only issue because like it could have been to me as a movie, it would have been
Mhm.
cooler. He's a straight up non-believer and he's hearing this story. Oh, that's fake. I can do something like this. I could do this something like this. And then ultimately he comes to that realization later, not just from full on miracle. And
How
then
much later though?
not much later.
Because we saw how he died already. Like we saw him
Yep.
hanging in the
Yeah, so
frame
so
one.
after the walk on water scene,
Mm-hmm.
then that's where it gets more confusing to me because now they just depict Clarence as the real story was he was the one on the hill. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's
Mm-mm.
what's the other interpretation? Pretty much
Everybody,
this.
it was a lot of people on the hill. That's not. It wasn't just something
Yeah,
that
pretty much.
happens to Jesus. It's like anytime somebody does something wrong, they put you on a cross.
Okay, bro. So this is what I'm saying is the weird. What I'm saying, and when it gets to the religious part, it
Mm-hmm.
gets really confusing on what the message of it is because essentially after he walks on water, they're depicting that pretty much Clarence was Jesus in that time, right?
No, that's not what it's saying. To me, it's not what it's saying.
So literally, what is it? Pontius Pilate. He doesn't capture Jesus. Basically, on the movie, what we saw, he never caught Jesus.
No,
Right. The
but
person
he.
who's crucified is
Uh-huh.
Clarence. The
Uh-huh.
person who's buried in the tomb is Clarence.
Uh-huh.
And the person who's resurrected with holes in his hand is Clarence.
Uh-huh.
None of those were Jesus.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
for me, it
So
goes from a story of him turning and getting closer to God to this weird question on like what is a god and how do you like how do I say it? It's like we went from one extreme
yeah.
to I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't care any miracles to
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, I'm walking on water to oh my god, I'm resurrected. But when
Yeah,
we
but
put
look at
together those last parts, that
yeah.
story matches up with the story that we read that pertains to Jesus. What we see in the movie, it's not Jesus, it's Clarence. Right?
No. Okay. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Um, what I would say to that is that it wasn't the fact that now, um, when Clarence walked on water, that boom, he is now like because the movie's called the Book of Clarence, not
Yeah.
um Clarence, the new Messiah type thing. Like,
Yeah.
so just because like Jesus didn't die in this movie at the end of this movie doesn't mean that that story is getting rewritten. This is just a quote unquote story that happened alongside it at the same time. Not really,
Okay.
but just
Okay.
like as like this isn't the like they're not trying to say like this is the new story or anything like that. This is just like something that happened like it was a fly on the wall type thing where the overlying message to me is that regardless of your circumstance, regardless of your situation, the only way to receive everlasting life is through Jesus.
Bro, that's so base. Like that's what I'm talking about.
But look,
When
look
this
what
movie is blurring those lines of what it's trying to tell us, and then it goes to just a religious thing. Like for it to fall back on something as simple as that, I don't believe that's what it's trying to like get at.
but you didn't let me finish though. You didn't let me
Okay, keep going.
finish. So like that is the essential premise of what happened, but it's the things that um apply to it, which is like the little Easter egg of the light bulb, right? The light bulb to me started off as like a comical thing of like, oh, they just got high. Obviously, he just had the idea. That's a light bulb.
Yeah.
But what if that light bulb is actually just the Holy Spirit? What if that was the thing? Because it looked like a light bulb, but it was just a light. So at the end of the movie, when he get that light bulb, that could be the Holy Spirit, that could be his halo, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he only got it because if Jesus didn't come back, he would just been in that tomb.
Yeah.
Right? And in that time, like, since Jesus didn't die yet, specifically, people weren't fully saved. Like Jesus had to like do certain things
Bible study. Here
to
we go.
get.
Yep. Oh.
I know. So like Jesus had to do certain things, like when he was washing
Went down the
feet and
underworld.
stuff, like all this stuff, right? So it's just like, to me, this movie is literally just what if we was back then? Like anybody, not just us, but like what if we was back then, and then like what it would look like in a
Okay, so just pretty much
human,
we're back
like,
there.
yeah, like in a
We receive a
human,
miracle.
most cynical perspective, not knowing nothing of what we know now, right? Like they didn't have all the books and all the technology and all the information and stuff like that, but it was just, we was just there. What would it look like?
Yeah, I like
You
the
know?
defense. It makes sense.
And
I,
that's
I
all
definitely
I'm
do
trying
think
to say.
yeah, I definitely do think the light is more of a he found his calling type thing. Like every time it happened was like he
Mhm.
realized like, oh, this is like my new thing. And at
Yeah.
the very end when he gets the light again, it's like
Mhm.
he realizes like Jesus is the way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it's really weird with the parallels of the normal story of Jesus Christ, and then they have the white Jesus that
Mhm.
how they determine this is actually how it accidentally got spread, how
Yeah.
a white dude became mistaken as the Messiah, because it's like
Mhm. He looked like him.
even the
Totally
whole
looked like him.
movie, the entire cast is black,
Mhm.
and you know some people always point out like, hey, why is the whole cast Asian? Why is the whole cast black? Why is
Mhm.
there only white people in it? But no one ever talks about how literally here, especially in the United States, they have white Jesus everywhere,
Yeah.
but no one ever questions why the heck is Jesus white
Yeah.
in the middle of Jerusalem? You know, like
Yeah.
born in Bethlehem, and no one ever questions
Right.
the most famous figure in the world.
Mhm.
Why is this dude a white guy with long
Yeah.
hair? Like,
Yeah.
so it's just a little weird because like I do think towards the end of the movie they kind of break apart a normal story that they had going with Clarence
Mhm.
and try to co-opt it to this new enlightenment story. But I think you said something in a podcast. I think the main thing was like knowledge is power, and knowledge is power, and knowledge is stronger than belief, or something like that.
That's what he was. That was his motto from the beginning, and that's why I was fight.
Yeah,
That's why I was pushing back against the notion of like, um, after he had his miracle moment, that he just became like this whole different person, but his personality never really changed, which is why I was saying like, granted he had a moment, but his nature is still cynical, and but it's just that he has new information now because that thing happened directly to him, and if it didn't happen directly to him, I don't think he would have got it. But the point of him walking on water wasn't for his own benefit, because the Romans was going to kill him regardless. We already know
hmm
that. It was
yep.
to glorify God in that moment, and then That's all I got to say on that. I don't.
Yeah, like I guess bring him closer to God for him to accept it, because he wasn't gonna. He
Because
sat there
it's
a minute
literally a
before and said
choice,
he.
bro. It's
Yeah,
literally a choice. It's something that nobody else can choose for you. You got to make that decision for yourself. And I think for them to use Clarence in the sense of like, he's a character that just wants to be seen, bro. Like, you know how many times in the movie he was like, yeah, like, you're the only person that pronounces my name how it's supposed to be pronounced. Like, he just wanted respect and like for to be seen for who he is, not for who everybody else seemed to know him to be, essentially, you know. And if you really think about it, like, I think all the first circle moments of like him walking up with the cross and stuff, and all those characters from the beginning of the movie that was hating on him, that was doing him dirty and stuff like that, either was showing him respect or remorse or just like was there in the end, showed me like it was like, bro, this joint was never about just Clarence himself. It was just the idea of it that is like the thing that makes this movie good, you know? So, boom. But that's kind of my take on it. And that's just my take, you know? We out here trying to fight me for nothing. Like what they say? Try Jesus, not me. Oh man, but yeah. That's all I really got. On the jump, like you was saying, the music was going crazy. I didn't like the dance scene in this jump. I think that was whack. But the movie, it was like theatrical, like the music. It like went with the movie, which is really cool. And I
I
think,
think it was incredible.
yeah, and I think the only part, not the only part, but like one of the funniest parts was when um I think was slept on was when Clarence went to go visit Jesus' mom and dad, or not dad, but you know what I mean. And he was just like, right. Like he was just insinuating, right? Like he was just
Like,
not going for it, bro.
bro, that's what I'm talking
That
about.
joint was so funny, bro. And I was like, yo, that's why this joint is hilarious, and it's great because it melds those two worlds together of like, whoever watches this movie, you can take whatever you want from it. And it's not necessarily like you gotta watch this and like boom, you get like, now you gotta go to church on Sunday and then go to Bible study and do this and do that. Like you can literally watch this joint and just think it's funny. You know? Like, and I think that's like the beauty of like entertainment. Because it's like you can turn something like this into art. It's like more of an art piece than a think piece to me. Yeah. You got anything else?
Solid. I mean, you love this thing. I mean, jeez,
I mean, I like it. I like it.
Jesus.
I like it, you know.
Nah.
So what score would you give it, bro?
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I do like it. It kind of reminds me, like, even if I watch it again, maybe I'll appreciate it more.
Hmm.
But like as a movie, I think the first half of it had a good theme going for it, good
Yeah.
ideas going for it, and it was much more enjoyable. And then the second half, they take a much sharper turn
Hmm.
uh, to become more of a think piece,
Yeah.
to make make you think about more of the actions, more of what does this mean, and more analyze what all of this could possibly mean.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't like the love scene. I don't like how
Yeah.
they did Elijah dirty, because Elijah could have had even a bigger role in it, but I kind of feel like they kind of threw him aside on for the more religious scenes in the second and third part. Um, but overall, I think it's enjoyable, and I think that everyone should watch it
Hmm.
because I do think a lot of people can take a different interpretation from this movie,
Yeah.
and I definitely do think there is something special about the idea, like how some people are like, um, knowledge is power,
Hmm.
but like for believers, like once you know,
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
and like it's almost like unshakable,
Hmm.
and like at the very end of the movie, it definitely becomes full on. Even though like he got shown miracles, it becomes like how a believer would feel like once you know God is with you, like
Hmm.
you just know that nothing's gonna stop you, nothing's gonna shake you, nothing's gonna bring you down,
Hmm.
and it's tough because some people will be those non-believers like that, you know.
Yeah. Like
And
you gotta have something directly happen to you to like.
yeah, some people will get in a car accident, be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, nothing happened," you know,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
then run into a pole and be like, "See, Jesus don't got me."
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, I'll give it a 6. Maybe I'll bump
Mm-mm-mm,
it
it's
up to a
crazy.
7. It'd be like the memes with Jesus blocking all the stones and then the one stone hit him. You know.
Oh man.
Yeah. Maybe I'll
Okay.
bump it up to a 7 if I rewatch it, but
Yeah.
I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Okay. I would give that jump a 8.5.
8.5.
You wouldn't think I be getting into the weeds sometime as far as like my own perspective on my uh takes and opinions on stuff that sometimes make me feel like I'm fighting harder for the movie than what I would give it. Cause like I feel like over the course of this conversation, you would think my score would be higher.
Oh, that sounds about right.
But I think there's inconsistencies in the story, like you were saying. There's a lot of parts where it was just like that could have been different, or like could have cut this out, or this wasn't as strong. Like, but then there's like moments where it's like boom, it's not only like a story beat that hits, a line that hits, like the location, the music, and then the pose, like at the Last Supper type beat when Judas was like
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah.
hard, bro. And it was like while it was happening, I was like, oh, I was like, yo, they're doing it, they're doing it, you
Yeah.
know. So like, there's definitely parts where I was like, yo, this is brilliant, and there's other parts where I was like, they had to squeeze this in there to make it a sandwich type thing
Yeah. I feel
because
you.
of what they did, how it started to me. But you know, I think it was good. I think it was good. That's why I give it 8.5.
I definitely, especially after what you just said, I know I gave it a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, this movie does have the feelings of a cult classic that
Mm,
in 5 years
mm-hmm.
could be like very, very like staple. You gotta watch this. You gotta.
Yeah.
What does this mean? What like probably not gonna be as appreciated this year or next year,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's really gonna be one of those really really big. Not because it's religious. I think overall, just
That's
it's a
gonna
very unique movie. You know.
yeah. That's the part that tricks a lot of people up. I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
from even seeing this joint. So it's gonna take like other people seeing it for them to be like, oh, let me get this a try, or like if it's on streaming or what streaming services. Because like for me, cult classic in the sense of like the director's catalog, like it's giving me more Jordan Peele vibes than
Yeah. It could have.
um like even though Jordan Peele is like as a whole extra fan base that like that has gotten moved over from his show, but I think this director is doing something
Yeah.
real good.
It definitely has some type of flavor uniqueness that
Yeah,
uh, it's something.
because
I
to
think
go
overall,
from a western to this, it's just like, yo, where you gonna go next? You know,
yeah,
like, cause it's cool seeing like actors and directors stick together over the course of like different movies. So you got like um Jordan Peele and Daniel Kaluuya. You got uh Michael B and dang, blanking. What's his name? I don't know. But the dude that made the dude that made Black Panther and the Creed movies and stuff and Real Station. Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler.
yeah.
And I can't remember the name of this director, but I know his movies. And I can see his face. Um, but I don't got my phone's dead, and I can't look it up right now. But um, yeah, like him and Lakeith are starting to become another one of my favorite duos out now too. But yeah, man, if y'all haven't seen the Book of Clarence, definitely go check it out, man.
Yeah.
Let us know what y'all thought in the comments. That's really like why I like doing this too, just because I want to hear what other people's thoughts are as well on the same things that I saw, but not in the sense of like
This is
I'm trying to
definitely a
prove
movie
you
you have to
wrong.
talk it out with. Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
of a talk out. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think? And it just
Mm-hmm.
has so many aspects. Like, even when they get high and they start floating, and to see
Yeah.
people float in that time period
Mm-hmm.
is a really weird thing to see on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I thought. And like you said, that Last Supper scene. There's a lot of scenes in here that you could probably rewatch and take something else from.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just interesting.
It was dope.
This is definitely a leap. Like when they came out with this script
Mm-hmm.
and shot this thing, they were going out there with this. They
Yeah.
were they were attempting something, which is nice.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, what'd you watch this week, bro? Other than that, the Book of Clarence.
I feel like I just finished something. Mm, maybe not. Maybe I just caught up on Percy. I
Okay.
feel like
It's only
I
like one episode left, right? Or something like that.
yeah, I think I was hyped off that one episode. They done went to the underworld, and I was like,
I didn't
oh
watch it
man.
yet. I didn't watch it yet.
Oh, you excited?
But
You're
I know what's
excited,
gonna happen.
man.
I want to see the last. Like, I want to watch it all like in once. I don't want to wait anymore. Like as far as like,
Oh, you can definitely watch it. I think it comes out tomorrow.
yeah, like I want to
But
watch
yeah,
like the last two together. Because Percy been
yeah,
frying me, but yeah.
like
Okay. I just been
it's
watching.
solid. It's solid.
I just been watching Suits again. I just finished season 2, and it's like it's really good, but it's good in a way that I was not expecting to be good, and it's like classic TV. Like shows like this don't come out anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, that are meant to go on for like long periods of time. Everything is limited now in the sense of like taking a simple motif of like something as simple as what a corporate lawyer looks like, just like doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And then there's a spinoff of Pearson. So like now I gotta watch that too.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, like there's a whole other show too.
Yeah,
So
they always try something. They
yeah,
always
but
try one spinoff.
I don't know if it's like still going on because they was like patching it together. Because I saw I've been talking about it, now it's in my algorithm, so I'm getting ads for it now and stuff like that. And that's when I saw. I was like, yeah, you can watch Suits and Pearson. I was like, what? So it's dope. Um, what can I say about it though? The Rachel and Mike situation finally happened. I gotta say, it was mid. It was mid, bro. It was like, it was like, all right. It was like there was so much like build up. Like the actual moment was cool. It was like, nah, let go of me, let go of me. You liar, you liar. And it was like extra dramatic. And then he was like, I can't let you go. But she knew what type of time she was on. She locked the door before she went in there, bro. So I was just like, bro, this is sick. This is sick. So now I'm in season 3, and it's even more tricky because more people know now. There's new partners, and that joint is good, bro. That joint is good. It's still not white collar, but it's just something different, and it's just something to add to the list. I don't know where it's gonna rank. I might have to update that, but that's really I've been watching. I've been watching One Piece too. Finally, Arlong got bodied, and not Arlong. What's his name? Hordy.
Bro,
Hordy got bodied.
that's crazy. Arlong.
I'm like at the end of that part, so I just seen their fight, and yeah. But what you geeked about, bro?
To be honest, this week, the new Diablo season 3
Ooh.
came out,
Okay,
and
gamer.
yeah, I haven't been playing a lot of games, but I have been playing this season, and I'm having fun. But apparently the internet is not. So a lot of people have already quit the season in like 2 days, and that's pretty sad to hear, you know. But I'm enjoying it so far. And it just reminds me that, you know, sometimes these video games, no matter how much money you throw at it, them developers don't make it better. So
Dang. Down tremendously.
yeah.
Crazy.
Bad.
Okay. What am I geeked about? Solo leveling.
Oh.
Fire. I was skeptical at first because it just wasn't getting to the point. Now we getting to the point of where like this man's becoming OP. And really I only care about his character right now. Like nobody else is interesting in this anime. Like they try to bring in a love interest, but it's like he's solo, so he's not really having a lot of interactions, and he was never like the most popular guy either. So he's finally starting to get in his bag, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And then I'm making progress in Horizon, but the map is so big, bro. It's so big, and I'm just hacking away because I want to get I want to get back to 2K, bro. If I'm being honest, like
Really?
it's been calling me. It's been calling me.
Man.
It's all these 70-point games. It's like, bro, I can do that.
Yeah, that's making me mad though.
Joel Embiid went for 70, and then Luka went for 73.
And then all saw them do it that week. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
And then Jaylen Brown dropped 77. Like, bro, what are we talking about?
When was that?
It was like the night before Luka dropped 73.
What? Bro, that's bad.
Nah, he dropped Luka Doncic with the ankle breaker. So
it's crazy.
That's why they say 77. You get it? You get what I'm saying?
I'm dead.
I knew you didn't understand because you didn't respond the way I was expecting you to respond. But
that's crazy.
That's what happened. I'm not excited for the Super Bowl. And I think that's it, bro. Anything else I'm excited to watch?
We made plans to go see Doom. That's gonna be the reunion of the movie
long
club.
From now, bro. That's so long from now, though.
I'm hyped for it.
I'm hyped too. You watched the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alaskan Bullworm. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all for watching, tuning in once again. What's up to everybody that's new? And yeah, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Watch all the clips. We're dropping clips on clips on clips. And if you listen on your favorite audio platforms, leave us a 5-star rating, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the Book of Clarence. And we'll see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.